Hi, so it should be approximately 10 after 2 on Friday, and you should be watching the video that's found right here, which makes this all kind of fun to think about. Um, Alright, so you're watching this video, and the objective below this says that you, the students, will be able to examine previous research on an engineering problem by doing targeted reading in order to better understand how the materials available have interplay with the priority goals of a solution design. Okay, so last class you came up with your 3 priority goals for your water filter project, and today we're engaging in some targeted reading in order to produce some research, right? So let's take a look at what's going on here. Under the tabs here, I have pretty much everything you're going to need. Under the instruction tab, I have a little bit of some Google Slides here. There's 2 slides, I think, in this deck. One is a restatement of the problem, right, that we're working on. That's the same slide as from yesterday. And here on the second slide is the materials list that you're going to have to be able to build your filter out of. You're going to get 1 half-liter disposable water bottle, which is going to be like the base of your apparatus. You'll be able to use masking tape, gravel, sand, activated charcoal, rubber bands, cheesecloth, coffee filters, lemon juice, baking soda, and plastic wrap. Now, I'm operating off of the assumption that there's 2 things that are on this list that may not be really clear to you. One is the half-liter disposable water bottle, and like trying to figure out how big that is. They're not actually very big. And the other one is the cheesecloth. I have a feeling that everything else on this list you can kind of imagine or know what it is. So I've left with Miss Seltzer 2 half-liter disposable water bottles and a couple of pieces of cheesecloth, so you can kind of get an image of what those would be as you're thinking and reading it through. So we'll talk about those as we kind of move forward. So those are kind of important. The statement of the problem and your materials list. That's all under the instruction tab here. Now, other stuff that you're going to need today, I put under the practice resources. Right, so under the practice slides here, I reiterated the 3 parameters, the priority parameters that you chose as a group. Managing the pH of the water, right? Trying to keep it close to 7. Managing the filtration rate so that like it's not dripping so slowly that we don't actually get water. And reducing the bacterial load in the water. So these are the 3 parameters that you chose as a group. Things that you want to research about. You want to look at like how is water filtration done in general. You also want to look specifically about how to accomplish these priority parameters. Like, how do you change the pH of water? How do you make sure that you have enough a high enough filtration rate and still effectively filtering? How do you actually reduce the living bacterial load inside the water? So that's like the second thing here. It's like, so filtration in general, how specifically about these 3 priorities. And then the last thing is like looking at your materials list, right? So what do these things do to help with the filtration process? Like, what does gravel do? What would sand do? Like, how do they interplay with each other? Why are we talking about activated charcoal at all? Why are we like what's the difference between like filtering through cheesecloth as opposed to filtering through a coffee filter through like some sort of filter that you've made on your own? So these are questions that you want to look into and try to find answers about. Okay, so I'm going to go back again to the Schoology page. Where do you record your answers? Okay, Ms. Seltzer should be giving you each a page that looks like this, right? It's going to say water research, and it's really pretty self-explanatory. It's like, this is the topic, this is what I learned, and this is where I learned it from. Okay, so we have to document our research, right? So what is the topic? What did you learn? And like, what is the source, right? And you can, so you want to fill these in. I give you enough boxes to get you, quite a bit of a ways into there. So it's a two-sided sheet. If you want to like fill this in here, that's great. If you want to cover, that's fine too. However you record this is fine, but you do have to document your research. Now, I'm not going to collect this from you, but you're going to need this, right? So you want to keep this in a safe place, and you want to make sure that you have it to refer to as you're starting to do like your layout and your design and getting into prototyping and things like that, because you want to be able to refer back and say, I made this design decision based on this research. Okay, so there you go. So coming back, I have given you a set of sources here. So I'm very important that these are not the only possible sources. So this is a set of links that can get you started on like learning about this. Some of them are like more dense than others, but there's a lot to be learned from these. However, these are not the only possible sources. So if you start going and Googling, how to do water filtration, you're likely to find other possible sources to work from. And I would just make sure that you're looking at things that have like some credibility, right? So make sure that you're not like taking a BuzzFeed article and trying to use this as a source for like scientific discovery here. So I hope that makes some sense. All right. So that's really like your important stuff there. Under the instruction is your statement of the problem again and your materials list. Everything that you need to do use for the research is under the practice resources. So by the end of today, you should have gotten like pretty well down the road of trying to understand like the ins and outs of what is known about water filtration and what you can apply as you're doing this. That's the big pieces that you're going to need for the day. There's an optional video put in the like if you look in the assignment sheet, as is typical, I have an optional video in there about this time it's about research engineers. So if you get some time over the weekend and you got 2 minutes, could be worth watching. Meet the research engineers at Google. But that's pretty much it. If hopefully things will go well, and we'll have a lot to work from, come Tuesday of next week. But until then, enjoy your weekend and be good for Miss Seltzer, and we'll go from there. Thank you.